that nobody is there that is actually offering that product or that service. So I feel that I can do it better and cheaper and faster than the second provider. And that's exactly what's happened. That's what attracts the customer to me. The level of service delivery, the benefit that my client, they will enjoy for me providing that service to them. So entrepreneur had the mindset of arrival before departure.
Talking about vision, you've just touched on a point there where doing something different. What about if somebody watching now at home or wherever they're watching from has this vision, but somebody's already doing what they visualize about, okay? So that could be a clothing outlet.
Yep.
Somebody has already got a clothing outlet, but they've got a vision as well within the same kind of industry. Should they look at the competitor? How do they put their vision now into practice, or should they do better? I mean, I remember growing up as a young man, my dad always told me that when you see your friend buy a bicycle, do not be jealous. Go and get a motorbike. Okay.
Good.
If you see your friend flying in a helicopter, you get motivated to go buy a private jet. So now somebody has a vision into something that is already in place. Where do they start from? Do they look at what the competition is, or they stick to their own plan?
Okay, good. Yeah, it's good to look into competitors.
What do you look for into competitors?
Value chains, yeah? What they're providing, how they're doing it, the processes. Yeah? How does it get to the hands of the consumers? You may have remembered many, many years ago, where back in the 80s, back in the 70s and 80s, in this country, when we have all the fast food chain coming up, nobody was doing home delivery, right? But today, a lot of businesses within the food industry, home delivery is now a norm. If you don't do it, you're leaving at least 20 to 30% segment of your business. And that's quite a lot. Do you agree? Now, I've just heard that Royal Mail are going to employ about 40,000 people, right, for the Christmas delivery. Why? Because 40% of all the Christmas shopping will be bought online. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, people go to the shop physically, correct? But now, they don't need to go. In the comfort of your own home, even while you're in bed, yeah, sipping your Coke or gin and tonic, you can just order anything you want. Then it will be delivered by Parcel Force or by Royal Mail to your door. So you need to look into what your competitors are doing, the level of technology they apply, how the goods can get to the hands of the consumer faster, safer, and cheaply. That's the work of an entrepreneur. Yes, it's to look into other competitors, right? In order to see what they're providing. But there's also one thing. For me, I believe that competition is good on one hand. But what is even better is collaborative. Why don't you go to your competitor? You can see the gap of what they're providing. Then why don't you go approach the competitor and say, this is what you already provided. Rather than we reinventing the wheel, why don't I bring this one in? Then synergy is created. Remember, this is one hand. Nobody can clap with this hand. Right? This is a superior hand that you use all the time. That's one entrepreneur. But if you now actually take another relatively inferior, a competitor, inferior entrepreneur, and infusion together, look at that. What happened? See, one hand can clap, but with two, you can clap and do better. That's why you talk about team. Team is about what? Team is really together, everyone achieves more. So an entrepreneur could look into what competitors are doing, why they're weak, so that he can strengthen his own provision or her own provision in that sense to expand the competition. Or he can equally approach the competitors in order to create synergy so that they can complement or provide it collaboratively. With collaborative provision, the entrepreneur can expand his or her business and the industry in general. More fundamentally, the final consumer will benefit profoundly.
Well, excellent. Well, feel free to call in. The number to dial is 07886 625 549. That's 07886 625 549. If you've got any questions regarding what Sonny Ohonso has been discussing with us on this special program on economic empowerment, please do dial in. Or if you've got those business ideas that you just want to keep to your chest, you could always call that number after this program and be in touch with us, and we'll refer you to Sonny Ohonso, and you can talk to him in privacy. A lot of people, of course, that you and I meet, our main complaint is money is not enough. You want to live a livelihood that is not questionable, but second to none. So please feel free to call. You never know what ideas you've got there implemented. They could yield profits, and you could be the next Aliko Dangote or Richard Branson. Well, Sonny, it says here that take action. The world is full of great ideas, but success only comes through action. Walt Disney once said that the easiest way to get started is to quit talking and start doing. That's true for your success as well. What does Walt Disney mean there, that stop talking and just start doing, what you intend to do?
Yeah, Watts is actually, he had it spot on, really. Yeah, a lot of people with a lot of lips, but very little feet. They can't move. Yeah, I used to have a friend many, many years ago. Every time he's going to university to do his PhD, each time you meet him, 4 or 5 years later, he says the same thing. Oh yeah, my thesis and everything else. Yeah. So action is what keeps things moving. Action is a verb for an entrepreneur. Take it. Take the first step. A lot of people talk about what they can do. Yeah, as the saying goes, that the richest bank. Do you know who the richest bank is? The grave. The grave has stores of people with a lot of idea in their head. They store it up, they bank it, but they never actually release it or even discuss it with someone else, no matter how ridiculous it is. And there's a very, very one significant myth I've observed about people in procrastination. They think, oh yeah, because they're doing the 9 to 5, they really haven't got the time. Do you know what? Really? There's loads of time available. Loads of it.
And how much of that time do you need?
You only need, for critical thinking, the time you use between traveling from work to home or home to work. To actually be able to establish a small-scale business that can generate you enormous amount of money in addition to your monthly salary. People think that they have to sit down 4 a.m. in the morning and to brainstorm till 12 midday or whatever it is. That's not how entrepreneur works. Entrepreneur, they founder with idea, right? They're traveling, they see exactly at the airport what may be lacking. They say, oh, okay, I can actually supply that. Then they take further action. They take further research. Oh, okay, this is the way we can do it. That's why a lot of entrepreneurs, average entrepreneur, in person of myself, Richard Branson's, no rest of them, we run more than one business. The reason for that is simple. because we already create a pool of people, right, who are enjoying a benefit. So what entrepreneurs do is when they now bring in the idea in terms of what they need to do, it's only one step away from realization. And that's where some people stop. They stop maybe lack of money, they think. They stop lack of time, they think. But can you imagine the amount of junk mail you receive on a daily basis? Even WhatsApp, some of them just pass it on. That time you're actually passing on irrelevant WhatsApp. Why don't you devote it to a critical thinking in terms of what sort of business on a small scale, a business you can start with £100. Why don't you come and learn something? Why don't you come and do a CPD, yeah, continual professional development in entrepreneurship, so that you can now be actually doing business without you realizing that you're doing it in the comfort of your own home, or even while you're traveling on the road, or even when you are sleeping, your name is still being mentioned somewhere. So entrepreneurs are people who are dedicated to their cause, and they take action at any point in time, at any moment. They don't wait for an opportunity to present themselves. But what do? They create the opportunity. Action.
Action indeed. Keep those calls coming in. The number to dial is flashing on your screen. 07886 625 549. If you're watching away from the United Kingdom, it's +44, and we'll pick up your call. You could always call that number as well on WhatsApp, and we could still cue you in live on this special program on economic empowerment with Dr. Sonny. Well, building a great team is a very inevitable part of being an entrepreneur. But then building a great team is not just picking anybody that you meet. How do you identify a great team that will be relevant to your vision?
Very good. It was once said by one of my colleagues, he said, look, you do not need everybody around you. Yet it is true, we cannot choose members of our family, but we can choose members of our team who are going to work with us in our various businesses. We can choose our friends who we're going to associate with. In fact, even within the members of our family, we can still choose the closer members of the family, correct? That's what life is all about. You choose those team that you feel, not because they're going to say yes sir, but because they're going to create a value to you and to the cause that you stand for. Remember what team actually represent? Team, T-E-A-M, together everyone achieves more. If that is the case, therefore, because the saying goes that two heads are better than one. Why? Because idea. Yeah, remember I also use the idea of, yeah, that's my mentor, Lolette Hansen, who actually had that company. In fact, the name of her company is called One Hand Can't Clap. An amazing woman. Now, the reality is this. When you create a team is what made the business to succeed. No matter the product you create, no matter your money you have generated, no matter the level of technology you implemented, if you do not have people, if you do not have a good team, the business will run from flat down in no time. So when you have quality team, those team or those people individually and collectively create the business hub. That hub is what creates the engine of the business. Whether you want to run a home business or you're running an office-based business, they apply the same principle. That's why you see a lot of people, I know they don't like the idea of network marketing. But I have worked in network marketing.
What is network marketing for those watching for the first time? Or
network marketing is what many people call pyramid selling, but it's a misnomer. It's actually a misconstrued name. A network marketing simply means I receive a set of information, right? And I'm getting benefit. I share that benefit with you, Chichi, right? Then you share it with Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones share it with Olu. Olu share it with Kwame. Kwame share it with Ahmed. Ahmed share it with Sharif. Sharif, yeah? So all of us benefit in the whole process. But within the team, everyone receive benefit. That's why, you see, this is what is called OPE. Other people's effort. People don't know. I am here right now. In my various businesses, I have over 10,000 people who are working with me, who are making money for me, and I'm making money for them. As I am sitting here, I'm driving on the road. This is what is called synergy. And Paul J. Getty, one of the multi-millionaires of our century, says, I'd rather receive 1% of everyone's effort. 100 people, he will receive how many effort? 100%, rather than 1% of my own. When we work as a salary worker in our jobs, that's 100% of our own effort. It's defeating, it's tiresome, it's very, very time consuming. Can you imagine when you are employed on a salary basis, then the salary of all the other people are being shared with you as well? Wouldn't that be amazing? That's what networking does. It creates a network of different people. In fact, in life, we all have to network, isn't it? A friend to a friend, a friend to a friend. You introduce a friend to the other friend who buys the product from the other friend, and the other friend introduces to the other friend. But what network marketing does, that's why it's called marketing, because it is a commercial platform. Everyone who talks about that business benefits from it. So rather than people being negative in terms of networking, right? Although that's not the topic for the day, but we're going to have that as a topic in the very near future. The benefit of network marketing, right? We'll be discussing it. Stay tuned in the future. But the reason why I actually digressing a bit, but still on the same point, fundamentally simple. When you network, that your network can lead to your net worth. So the amount of people you have in your team can lead to your economic empowerment if you know how to use it. This is what's called the power of L, capital L, leverage.
Important. It's leverage. Of course, Sakip, the calls coming in. I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions in what Sonny Afonso has come to share with us on this special program on Noble People TV and radio on economic empowerment. The number to dial is 07 886 625 549. I'll say that again. It's 07 886 625 549. Before we get to the next topic, Kasoni, I'll look at the African continent in terms of entrepreneurship. Why is it that, according to research, that Africans can be skeptical when coming up with entrepreneurial skills? We've had the big weights, people that we salute in the continent, the Aliko Dangote of Nigeria, there's Godfrey Waliamwamba of Zambia, there is, on top of my head, can't recall, but he's an Egyptian, some Egyptian entrepreneur. Why is it that we are very skeptical in terms of implementing our entrepreneurial skills? I think we do have them. I mean, they say if Mr. Sonny can do it, I can do it. If Dangote can do it, you can do it. But why do you think Africans would be slightly skeptical when making that risk or that sacrifice? And what can they do to change that mindset?
Good. Okay. Well, I mean, people always say to me, or some people, some quarters say, Africa is a poor continent. I said to them, No. In fact, it is the richest continent on the whole planet, but it is the most poorly, the most poorly managed of all the continents around the globe. Yeah? It's all about what Nelson Mandela said at one time, failed leadership. But we're not here to discuss anything about politics. We're here to see what people, a viewer back home, can gain from this particular topic and benefit themselves wherever they may be, all over the world. There are great entrepreneurs in Africa. But the problem we have in Africa as a continent is documentation. Yeah, documenting proper processes and procedures. I've been to different parts of Africa. School kids, they have developed a light from solar system that were locally sourced material. But when you say to them, can you show me the processes they've adopted, they were able to explain it, but there was no any document that actually follows the various procedures. When somebody else, after these people have gone out of the scene, somebody will see that particular light or particular equipment, but they will not be able to improve on it because there are no documentary evidence. There's no audit trail, engineering audit trail throughout the whole processes. That's one of the difficulties, one of the problems we have in Africa, is a problem of documentation, documenting the processes. That's number one. The other one is short-term ism. We want to get it now, right? You see, that's another issue that we have. I mean, if you look at the way houses are built in the Western world, they are solid. Some are built with a view that they're going to last for 500 years, 300 years, 100 years. But you go to a lot of African, so many cities, although they're improving now, enormously over the last 10, 15 years. You see, like just a mud that just been put together for a quick one. Yeah, some roads are constructed and they're not properly done, maybe because somebody has siphoned the money or whatever it is. But what we're saying here is anything we do has to be done diligently, with determination, and with focus, and with quality to match everything you stand for.
So patience is very, very important.
Absolutely, critical. And that's one of the pure quality of an entrepreneur. Be patient, be diligent, be persistent, and remaining positive at all times. Remember when he was challenged, Thomas Edison, he said, 2,000 times, 5,000 times, 10,000 times you tried and you failed. Guess his response? He said, no, I have not actually failed. I've actually found out 10,000 times that doesn't work. Isn't that amazing? So there are ways we counteract negativity with positivism. And that positivism is what engender the character of a quality, a seasoned entrepreneur. Remember what Michelle Obama said? He said, when they high, when they low, we're high. When they high, yeah. He said, when they're low, we're high. Yeah? But I'm not saying for entrepreneurs, when the other people are high, we low. Yeah? So we jiggle the balancing at all times in order to run through the topography or the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur. Yes, it takes time, but the results are profoundly important.
Very imperative indeed. One of the greatest entrepreneurs as well on the planet, somebody again who does not need no introduction because we use his services every day. He's called Bill Gates, who once said that your most unhappy customers are the greatest source of learning. Let unhappy customers teach you where the holes in your service are. What does he mean by that? But what about customers that abuse you and use irrevocable language on you, do we still have to keep them? Or customers that try and use physical on you, customers that swear to you, insult your parents, insult your children, I mean all those. So what does it mean? Are those type of customers it's talking about?
Okay, yes. There are various sets of customers that we find in our daily life as an entrepreneur. Broadly speaking, from my own experience, yeah, I've been using services for the last, 50 years of different organizations. And for the last 30 years since I've been in business, various customers use my services. And one thing I noticed which is important, if a customer comes to you to complain about your service, that customer loves you. He wants you to improve. And what that customer is simply saying is HELP in capital letters. Help. But in return, I will help you. But if you
even if it's not a constructive criticism,
correct. Correct. That's what Bill Gates is saying. You see, you learn from it. It's better. Most time we learn from our mistakes and our difficult situation than when things are just smooth sailing. When everything is just, as we say in Ghana, boko, everything is all good. Yeah? If it's too good, we're in a comfort zone. Yeah? It's like the analogy I normally use for a boiled dog, a boiled frog. If you put a frog into hot water straight away, what do you think it's going to do? It will jump out, right? But if you put it into a cold water where the frog is comfortable, then you simmer the bottom of that pot or of that kettle. Guess what happened to that frog? Because it's so comfortable and the heat is coming gently, before he realizes, it got boiled. Yeah? And ready to be served on the table. That's for those who eat frog. But you see, for entrepreneurs, they take their time. They season their processes. They put it together. They put it apart. They allow other people to also put it together and put it apart. But the decision making, remember what I said earlier? Ownership management. You are the only one that had a blueprint of what you intend to do. Do not be dissuaded by any other person. Yeah, it is true you can collect a lot of information from other people, a lot of ideas. You can incorporate those ideas, you can infuse them together. This is what is called infusion. You infuse those ideas into your own. Then rather than you creating a piece, you create what is called a masterpiece. That's the work of any entrepreneur. Yeah, validate your work with entrepreneur. Choose a mentor, like us, we are there all the time to coach you, to mentor you, because we've been through the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur for over 30 years. We have seen the falling side of it, and we have seen the upside of it. Sometimes the downside are greater, but at the end of the day, you come out balancing. Can you see where we are? I am still better off, and that's the trade-off. That trade-off is a margin of safety. Yeah, you try so many times that failed, but one time you try, what happens? Then it stabilizes you. And the Honda car we're driving today, the owner of Honda once said, he said, look, I put in 100% effort, 99% it failed. He said, but 1% it succeeded. That 1% has given me the 100% I needed in order to live. And that's the Honda we're driving today. So entrepreneurs, they have a totally different mindset of being positive, being determined, being positive, not dissuaded by the gossip and opinion of, remember what I called them? Those illiterate. Those who have no clue, who do not understand your blueprint. Your blueprint remains your blueprint. It's the DNA of your decision-making process.
Right, brilliant. Well, the other point again is, assuming what customers want or need will never lead to success. You must ask them directly and then carefully listen to what they say. Could you expand on that? I'm sure that's quite something that you've come across, customers' input, more or less. How imperative is that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of, I provide a lot of customer service, and I receive quite a lot. You see some entrepreneurs, some business owner, they become defensive rather than listening to the complaint being lodged by...
Got a caller there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to this special program on economic empowerment. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and please go ahead.
My name is Rachel, and I'm calling from Camberwell.
Okay, Rachel, please go ahead with your question or contribution to Sonny.
I'm quite enjoying this program, and thank you for bringing such a wonderful program to Know People TV.
Thank you.
It's quite encouraging and empowering. Actually, this is kind of information that majority of people and friends should have listened to, or have the opportunity that if they have the opportunity to have listened to such a program like this, they'll probably, think other ways and seek more help before setting up a business. I just want to say something. If our uncle there can please enlighten people, I would say everybody that is listening actually, but majorly Africans, on what I have personally observed in business. You will realize that many times you will see a local shop that we open maybe on the high street or in the corner shop or something, selling local and African foods, it's all over the corners and everywhere. But by the time they look, before even the year goes round, the shop is already closed down. And this has been very rampant, and sometimes it happens to bigger shop as well. And what I think could be the major causes of this is not doing enough research, or probably not getting their facts right before they embark on it. Like you rightly mentioned earlier, that some people will see somebody doing one business in the area, and they just say, oh, in my area as well, I'm going to start that business. Just as a kind of, I won't call it a jealousy because, or conversion attitude, but, how can you please empower and encourage our Black ethnic minority in general on what are the things they need to look out for before they set up business, and other advice that can be given to them, so that, because anyone who does that really, we know, wanted to do well, and it is good that people are willing to do well, but in the process of doing well, you're actually doing yourself in, because the little they have, they might have wasted it, and by the time they go like 3 months, then there's no more money to pay the rent, and the council tax is coming, the bailiff, and this good thing becomes such a frustrating, So what advice can you please give?
Okay, very, very good. Rachel, the point you raised is very poignant, very, very important. Right, this is one thing I've observed myself, patronizing some African businesses. You see, one of the biggest setback is lack of customer service, right? Just to give you an example, this Saturday, I said, okay, let me pick up something from one of the African shops on my way home. And as I walked into the restaurant, I'm not going to mention the location where the name of the restaurant.
Okay.
I was sitting there for 17 minutes. Nobody came out from the kitchen, right? The customer who was there said, there's somebody in. I said, okay. I waited and waited and waited. I got frustrated. At the 17th minute, I left. There's another African restaurant adjacent to that. So I said, okay, let me try this one. I tried that one, and people were sitting haphazardly. You know, they asked me to join, you know, strangers that I didn't really mind that. That was not a problem. I was going to create, you know, a relationship with those people anyway, because I'm quite a relational person. Guess what happened? She gave me the menu, and she was playing with her colleague somewhere else. So I was observing to say whether it's going to look up. I was waving my hands to say, you know, I'm here, come take my order. After 12 minutes, nobody turned up. Then I went back to the young lady who actually gave me the price list. I said, look, you gave a client, I said, is it the service you provide, the level of the service you provide? Then I walk away, right? My cousin was relating and explaining to me the other time. He bought something from one African shop, right? And they're wrapping it up in a Sainsbury, yeah, a bag as if it's been, you know, bitten by the dog here and there. He can, number one, he cannot even create a bag for himself or herself. Why don't you use the plain bags? Why advertising Sainsbury for a start? And let the bag be presentable. Yeah, our processes and presentation are very poor, and hence, if the Indian can do it better, if the American can do it better, because you see, all of us will eat food for the first time, not because of the taste of the food, but because of the way it is presented.
Exactly.
We have poor presentation skill of our services. And this is one of the, and that's why you see African restaurant has a lot of negative connotation. Service level is shabby, presentation is poor, right? And yeah, it's getting better now. If you go to the same restaurant, I'm not going to mention their name, I'm not here to advertise them here, but what we're trying to say is life is all about presentation
and good customer service.
And good customer service. There are two things. I, as a trainer on customer service delivery, two things that customers hate. You know what they are?
Yeah.
Number one, bad smell. And secondly, poor service. The moment a customer receives those two, those are the things that will be embedded in their mind, and that will help them to remember to hate your service and your product, no matter how good it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rachel, are you saying you're based in London?
I'm based in London, in Camberwell. Another question that what I would like to, because I'm learning and gaining from this, as well as, sorry, I hope I'm not taking too much of your time.
No, carry on.
No, you can wrap up. Of course, we want to allow other calls, but then, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. That I want to say is, sometimes people have good ideas, and but to execute it could be the major problem. And what sort of encouragement or what sort of advice can you give entrepreneurs that have got plans to set up a business, what sort of financial advice? I know you say you're not a financial advisor, but kind of encouragement has been, because the minute somebody has like £20,000, for example, they think, oh, I've got money and I can set up something, not realizing that actually £20,000, by the time you pay deposit for a premises and to buy the goods, they will say, oh, you just have to start from somewhere. Most especially, in some faiths, they might say, oh, God does not despise little beginning. Yes, we know that. And then they will go and start it in that way, and then instead of actually gaining, they're losing even the little. Do you think patience is something that is that we need to consider? And really, because it's not everybody, even sometimes you might have this good idea, but it's not everybody that can really do business. if you haven't got the strength, maybe not to try and force, or what do you want to advise, please?
Okay.
For people that really have the interest, but haven't got the capacity, or is there any way or anywhere they can actually go to seek help?
Very good.
To be able to organizations that will help.
Excellent, Rachel. Hence the reason for this particular program, to incite potential entrepreneur and for them to love what they have to do as entrepreneur. This program is decided to provide information, to incite people so that you can learn, you can present it in a way. Number one thing that entrepreneur, and which majority of entrepreneurs, I have fallen short of this myself in the past, lack of preparation. They have not considered all facts about the business. They jump into the business, they want to take the first lead and everything else, then they crash. You see, preparation. And having a mentor, somebody who has been there, is vitally important. Hence, I provide my mentorship program free of charge because I want to put back to what I've gained, what God has given me, what I've learned in the past 30 years. I want to transfer those skills to younger and older generation alike in the field of entrepreneurship. Hence the reason why we volunteer to even present this program. That Noble Television has actually prepared this forum. Every Thursday you're going to be listening to this program from 7:30.
Between anytime between 6 and 7 p.m. Of course, we might have breaking news, but just stay tuned every Thursday. Between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m.
You see? So with all of that, we can help people like yourself who are being inquisitive. I have other businesses on my belt which I can introduce to someone like yourself, Rachel, that you can benefit enormously. Perhaps you already got my number and your number is not showing correctly because here it's 056. So I don't know why it's showing that. That's why I'm asking you to confirm whether you're in London. So there might be other businesses because I run about 12 different businesses as I am here. You might say, yes, I'm a jack of all trades. Yes, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm master of all of them. Average entrepreneur run more than one business. The reason why they do that, if there's any economic reversal on one industry, then they will be sustained.
The other will be able to support.
Correct. So I help people to say to them, yes, salary is good from your 9 to 5, but why don't you have something on the side? That when the salary, there's economic reversal, you lose your job, then the other source of income will generate and sustain you in time of economic reversal, which happens for us from time to time. Yes, having a mentor and a coach, that's what we're there for, to support young and old to set up their own business, even as little as £100. Can you imagine? I have helped some people to set up their own business at little £100 6-7 months ago, and
very interesting.
And they are now, generating income, additional income to their salary. Medical doctor, pilot, accountant, lawyers I have in my team currently as we speak, who are able to just do that. If they can do it, then you can do it equally. That's the message we have for the audience at home.
Thank you very much. Is the number that I called on your number?
Yes, that's all right. Just call that number, and it's either if it doesn't pick up, call that, or you could call it.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're still on the economic empowerment, and this is what this program is tailored for, economic empowerment in various areas. The program, of course, will be aired here on the platform that matters, Noble People TV and radio every Thursday between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. We shall have different talking points. Last week's program, for those that tuned in, we spoke about cryptocurrency, and this week we are talking about entrepreneur skills, and we just had a caller there that phoned in. Before we go to the next question, a quick brief on that caller there. What's your reaction on in general what she said? Very good, very good. She's very articulate, and she brings it together as well, her own observations and
there are a lot of substances in terms of what she's saying. I hope the viewers and the listeners at home who are running their own business or intend to go into their own business can take some nuggets from exactly what Rachel has, mentioned in her comments, and also benefit from the question that she raised as well.
All right. Okay. Well, looking at one aspect as well, which is understanding our industry as entrepreneurs. Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, once said, "Don't play games you don't understand. Even if you see lots of other people making money from them, truly understanding your industry is key to having success." But Sonny, during the opening of the program, you did mention that sometimes you might not have the expertise, but an entrepreneur just sees a problem. So I don't know how you'd respond to that prior to what you said earlier, that I think what Tony Hsieh is saying here is understand your industry. So if I'm a broadcaster, I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
So if I identify an accounting opportunity, do I first have to understand what it takes to run an accounting firm? And the next probably question is, how do you understand your industry, even if you're an expertise in there, or if you're not? How does one, what steps do you need to understand the industry?
Okay, yes, what the founder of Zappos is saying is absolutely correct. But the reality is this: entrepreneur, they have what is called a threshold skill, basic skill. They have a skill that can observe, they have skill that can listen, they have people skill. If they want to set up a company to provide clinical practice, medical services, what would they need to do? They bring in medical doctors who are qualified to do it. A lot of businesses that we enjoy today, the entrepreneur had the blueprint. Remember, it's all about the blueprint. That blueprint, he followed through, then he handpicked people with what is I call the core rigidity, the core skills. He assembled them together. Richard Branson is not a pilot, right? But he has what? Fleet of aircraft.
So hang on, Richard Branson is not a pilot. He runs Virgin Trains.
Yeah.
He's not a rail engineer.
Driver.
But then, how does he ensure that nobody's stealing from him? Because if you're a pilot and I set up an airline, you can tell me this engine cost, you can tell me the technical stuff that I don't understand.
Yep.
So now as an entrepreneur, how do you ensure nobody is putting something in their pocket?
Very good. You set up systems and processes.
And what are those systems and processes?
The system will be when order comes in, the marketing department ensure that the order comes in. The sales department ensure that sales is processed. The accounting department ensure that the money is collected. The audit department ensure that it's verified. The production department ensure that the product is prepared to the right quality and the right standard. So
how do you ensure that the people that are working for you, these are your marketing department, how do you ensure these people are actually loyal? They're not going to, I mean, we are skeptical in general, globally, but then how do you ensure that these people are going to be genuine and loyal to you? What steps do you need? I mean, what does one need to do in general?
First of all, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, for me, I have people who will be working with me for the last 15, 20 years, right? They've been through the ups and downs of my businesses, all the topographic, volatility. It's all about your building relationship with people that can work with you, that you can work with. And you can also use what is called OPE, other people's effort. You outsource that skill. You can rely on recruitment agency to get you, if at all. Or a friend who is an expert in that particular field. If you want to employ an accountant, say you want to set up a production department for journalists, You don't really need to go to so many KPMG or Pricewaterhouse or whatever it is to bring a consultant. I will be your consultant, and I can do it the same job, even maybe better job, with a lot of personal touch, with a fraction of the cost. So, ability for you to identify how you can also manage your costs, coupled with the fact that you can increase your sales, and the fact that you can get the right people, they all work together hand in hand. If you're not qualified to do it, use it, bring in a professional expert. This is what is called outsource. You outsource that competence, that skill. Once it's outsourced, guess what happens? They will work on the business with you. All you need to do, you just need to have managerial capability. A CEO of a company is likened to a president of a nation. A president of a nation doesn't have to be a qualified engineer, does it? It doesn't have to be a medical doctor, does it? It doesn't have to be a pilot, does it? It doesn't have to be a university lecturer or a teacher, do they? But they have different ministry, different department that coordinate the effort of all the different various departments and run an organization in a country. Organizations run exactly the same, bringing together different ministry, different department, but this department, this ministry could be chosen from among the network. Again, this is what we're talking about, network. The more network you have, the more resources you have. Like me, anything you need, you want a loan, you want a mortgage, I can get it for you. You have an immigration problem, I can deal with it for you. You want to buy a property, I can have a surveyor, I can have, you want an employment, I can have a recruitment agency who
I'm sure some viewers are asking, which one is your priority among those? Which one is your priority?
All of them. And that's what I said.
If they come at the same time?
Yes. That's what I said to you. A jack of all trades, a master of all of them. Why? Because I use what is called OPE, other people's effort. I delegate, I outsource those skills. But what I do have is the threshold skill. Observation, listening, organization. I have all of that. And people management skill. So, and more importantly, networking skill. Once you are inside my web, I don't let you go. I phone, I chase, I phone and chase until I catch. But if I do it, there are people who have come back to me on my various businesses after 3 years. They remember, The analogy I use for this is this. You might ask people to do something or you're showing them an opportunity. They can't say it. It's likened to somebody who is rushing to the washroom, to the toilet. Never try to captivate or capture somebody's attention who is rushing to the toilet, right? Allow them to go, settle down, then come back, then you can talk to them. You want to talk to somebody, so I just lost my sister. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But you remember the business I told, So what's the priority? The loss is sense of, empathy, right? So watching anytime somebody is going to the toilet, try to capture their attention. They will never listen to you. But once they settle down, which is maybe your callback, the second time you may approach them, they might listen to you better. The fact that they said no before doesn't mean that they're going to continue saying no. They may have actually reflected it now and said, oh, actually, this business is actually a good one for me to follow. So, businesses, skills, just one particular skill. It can be communication skill. It can be organization skill. It can be people skill. It can be language skill. It can be technical skill. Whatever you have, then work in a synergistic, in a cooperative manner, in a collaborative manner for other people who have got other various skills. Bringing them together, you create what is called a team. You remember? One hand can clap.
That's right, one hand can clap. Well, we're about to come to the end of this program. Yes, you could always call in now before we wrap up the program. As I said, we're about to come to the end of this special program on economic empowerment. The number to dial is 07886 625 549. That's 07886 625 549. We're about to come to the end of today's economic empowerment program. Of course, this program will be aired every Thursday between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Well, Sonny, they say what goes up should come down, and we're about to come down, so wrap it up for the viewers that want to be entrepreneurs and those that have not phoned in for various reasons, but want to take up entrepreneurial skills and would like to also keep in touch with you.
So it was fantastic to see all of you this evening who are listening in, who are seeing. Every single Saturday, I provide training and support for those people who want to run their own businesses in various form and shape. You can drop into my offices in Stratford. No, that's 44 Broadway, London E15. That's the Olympic Village, by the way, E15 1XH. Yeah, well, just on the Broadway itself, number 44. Or you can call me on my number, which is +44 788 66 25549. That is +44 788 66 25549. Every Saturday, this Saturday, I have another one. It starts from 4, it finishes at 6. I have a lot of people coming for various support, various mentorship, various coaching, various all forms in terms of the business they can go into, how they can do it. Yeah, like I said to you before, our services are free of charge. We do not charge for services. Whatever you need, however you need it, whether you want to go into employment, whether you need a home, you want to buy your own home with a mortgage, or you want to release equity, and if you have bad credit, you're looking for funding and all the rest of them, we can manage anything for you. Immigration issues or whatever it is. Because within my network, we turn it into net worth.
Well, that's Sonny, and don't forget to mention that the training that he offers on Saturday, or if you go to his office, it's absolutely free. So you'll not find some man with an SIA badge saying £5 or £3 collection, but it's absolutely free. Well, on that note, Sonny, would like to greatly thank you for joining us again today on economic empowerment, and hopefully and surely in God's presence we shall see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been great. Well, that's it from this special empowerment program on Noble People Radio and TV. Do join us next week at the same time between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. For now, sit back and watch the rest of the programs we've got lined up for you on the platform that matters, and that's Noble People Radio and TV. I'm John Chinode. Enjoy your weekend and stay warm. Goodbye.